This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the Sierra Madre Playhouse for their presentation of Charlotte's Web. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Ryland Dodge. I've been in theater my whole life. Went to Shenandoah Conservatory and just been performing theater 10, 15, 20 years now. I played Templeton the Rat and Lurvy. Templeton the Rat is the conniving little sidekick to Wilbur and Charlotte's friendship. And Lurvy is the farmhand that is sort of the comic relief.
I was very impressed with your performance. Actually, you actually stepped into several characters. Your diction was very good and all that. You know, in theater, usually we have very complex characters. I guess in Charlotte's Web, it's not as complex, except for your character. It's very, it's more of an anti-hero type character. I mean, who would be the hero in something like this, except for Templeton?
I think that Templeton, as you said, is a little bit more complex because he does end up being the hero. He does save her egg sac. He does end up completing a lot of the tasks that the other animals are not able to do. And he is also the anti-hero because he is saying all of these things, but he's saying the negative things, but he's also doing all of the positive things. He does actually have essentially the heart of gold. So it's a really fun part to play, and it's very emotional to do, as a matter of fact, but it's wonderful.
Once again, I really enjoyed your performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Sonny James Calvano. I grew up in LA, all over the place, really. I started acting in high school, and I've been acting ever since, so that's about 5 years now. I'm also a writer and an aspiring animator. I played Wilbur, the pig. Wilbur is a very interesting character. He resonates with me, and I'd say with everybody, in that he's very eager to discover life. And it's very hard to jade his perspective, which is one of just wonder at all the beauty in the world. So it's interesting playing Wilbur because you could put it in any context, whether you're a kid in elementary school or a college kid or a young adult going out into the world. Just this really eagerness for life and for action, and then sometimes being bombarded with the not so pretty aspects of life, and coping with it as you roll along. So to me, it's a very beautiful part to play. Also along the way, you have this rock, your friends, several references and support bases, and we can all identify with that. For me, it's my mother, my brother, and my best friend. So it's a very wonderful part to play, and he just discovers certain things about life that we all discover, which is death, which is loss, and he does it, and he copes with it in the best way he can, which we all do.
It's very interesting for a child's story, because it's not like The Wizard of Oz or some Harry Potter where it's all fantasy. This actually talks about death a lot. I mean, It's hard for a kid to understand. What do you think about that?
I think it's beautiful. I do think a lot of children's stories generally try to talk about death. It's a very important thing to discuss at an early age, I think, especially because it's just such an unknown thing. Everybody's so terrified of it, and God forbid you actually discuss it with your children. So it's beautiful to put it into that context of, it's just a story on a farm with farm animals. In that way, it's a really genius, brilliant piece of literature, the book I'm talking about, because it allows you to talk about death without really realizing you're talking about death with children, and which is a very beautiful opportunity, I'd say, and a gateway for parents to open that discussion without saying, "So, Tommy, let's talk about death." So it's beautiful, and it's something we all have to go through. So we might as well accept it and talk about it.
Once again, I enjoyed your performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Haley Perkins. I'm an actor who grew up here in LA. I went to school in Boston at Northeastern University, and as soon as I graduated, came back home and started doing some more theater here in LA. I'm Fern, the goose, an old lady, and a judge. So I play Fern, that's pretty much my main character, and she's sort of there to save Wilbur in the beginning. There really wouldn't be a story if Wilbur wasn't around to tell it. So she's there to sort of protect him, and she's sort of always his confidant, and she's there to be his friend and cheer him on.
Actually, I remember the movie Charlotte's Web. I'm actually impressed by the amount of stage actor talent they had. Paul Lynde from Bye Bye Birdie was Templeton. I believe the goose was played by Agnes Moorehead, who was a great Shakespearean actor.
Yeah, I mean, the movie came out, I remember watching the movie when I was little, and I haven't watched it again in a really long time, but it takes so much, like, thinking about what you're going to do for each character, especially when you're playing multiple characters. So to have, you know, those people to look up to is really fun, and I didn't actually know that she was a Shakespearean actor who did that, so that's really cool to know.
Also, I look at the story, Charlotte's Web. I keep thinking about it. I can't help but think that it's a story about death. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was really funny. The first show we had, all the kids were asking us why we were trying to kill Wilbur and why Charlotte had to die, and you know, it's a really beautiful way of sort of introducing what life is to little kids, and it's a dark story, but it's told in such a gentle way that it's such a nice way to start bringing in that conversation.
Well, I enjoyed the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Tara Bopp. I basically grew up performing, singing, dancing, doing musicals, and my family was very supportive and helpful. I studied in London, New York, and then in LA, and I've just stayed here. I played Charlotte. Charlotte is a wonderful spider who is chipper and, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess buoyant, but is reaching out to Wilbur when he seems to be in need, and she sort of has a gift for aiding and supporting and helping those that can't help themselves, and takes Wilbur under her, little legs, and decides to help him to live. And through her perseverance and determination, he's able to survive, and she is at peace with her life, and knows that through her living to help Wilbur live, she's able to find rest in her death.
most actors love doing a death scene, a dramatic death scene. What do you think about that?
I mean, dramatic death scenes are great. It depends on how they go. Because if it's like, you're in a hospital bed and you're like, and I go, it's something. But if you're like getting pummeled with a bunch of bullets, it's like, oh yeah, you want to do that. But this death was not like either of those. It was peaceful, and it was like what everyone, I guess, in a morbid way, aspires their death to be. Very peaceful, and though alone, able to feel like everything is going to be all right. Yeah.
Okay, well, I enjoyed the performance of Charlotte, and I enjoyed the performance of the entire ensemble. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Jackson Kendall. I was born in Washington State, Seattle, and went to college down here. I've been doing theater my whole life. Went to Loyola Marymount University out in Westchester. I played Uncle Homer, the sheep, a little bit of the narrator, and Homer is the keeper of Wilbur, if you will. Fern will come and comes and drops Wilbur off because she can't keep him anymore. He gets too big, and he's actually a farmer, so he takes care of animals, and he takes care of Wilbur and takes him to the fair and all that stuff. The sheep is this old, grumpy, sheep, and he is the one who, I don't want to spoil too much, but for those of you who haven't read the book, cover your ears. He was the one who breaks the bad news to Wilbur about what actually happens to pigs on farms.
What is Charlotte's Web about? I think about the major themes. I think it's about death. What do you think?
I would agree, but I don't think it's about death in a way that's like ooh, death. It's more of like death is as much a part of life, because if you look at this show, it's so full of life and it's full of colorful characters and full of complex emotions and rich emotional depth. And the message I think it tries to get across to kids and adults is that as much as there is life, there's always death, and that's okay. It's not. I mean, it's tragic, but it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing ever. Like it's a part of life. Yeah.
Okay, once again, I enjoyed your performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Megan Captain. I am an actress living in LA. I've been here about a year, came from Chicago. After that I was in Australia, and now I'm out here. I played the narrator, I played the gander, I'm the president of the fair, a little girl spectator, I'm a reporter, and I'm the owner of Uncle. Narrator is, the storyteller. She carries the story along. Gander is a friendly gander who just wants to take care of his lovely goose wife, raise some goslings, keep fun on the farm. The president of the fair is very excited to be giving a speech for probably the first time she's really gotten to give anything more than just this ribbon goes to. Reporter is basically you. And then the spectator is just a girl playing at the fair.
When I look at the story of Charlotte's Web, well, first of all, I don't see it as exciting as, say, Harry Potter or The Wizard of Oz or any of the real classics. But first of all, it's a very popular story. And actually, the more and more I look at it, the more I think it's a story about death. What do you think about that?
I think it definitely touches on death. Personally, I see it more as the story about the friendship. Death is just an unfortunate part of everyone's life. I mean, that is ultimately coming to all of us. We don't know if we have a lot of time. We don't know if we have a little bit of time. But I think it's Wilbur that says it, that it's important to live a good life, even if it's not as long as you want. So I think death is very important in making the story about living a quality life and taking advantage of the time you are given and the friends you have around you.
Yeah, because again, in the beginning, Wilbur says, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And also Templeton also says, who wants to live forever and all that. And then I'm just amazed that, there are actually some kids who actually get it too. You ask a kid about death, maybe the grandparents died. They actually are a lot more complicated than people think they are.
Definitely. I think kids really do understand a lot of the themes here. During our first show, the talk back that we had a lot of kids asking about that. They were like, why would they want to kill Wilbur? Why would you want to kill a pig? And we explained, that's part of the food chain, and that is part of what keeps us alive. If you are a meat eater, then that is part of what's happening. But they all also do have their quality life. Like, it's certainly not some factory farm or something like that. Wilbur can play, he can go out in the field and sleep and live, and so he understands that quality can be there. And it is important, I think, that the kids do understand those themes and that we treat it that they do. Because we definitely respect that the kids are very intelligent. People don't give kids enough credit.
Well, in theater, the one unique thing about it is the audience is there. It's a live audience. And the performance you give actually changes depending upon the audience. Do you change your performance basically if the audience is filled with kids?
There will be different pauses if the kids are reacting in a certain way. There's a chase scene in this that takes it through the audience, and we had an adult audience that was nice and quiet and polite for it. And the kids are screaming, and they're telling them where to find Wilbur, and he's over here. So the performance does change. The audience is a very important part of any live performance. They're what makes it fun. They're what bring the energy to us as the actors. I mean, we bring everything we can, but that audience is really what puts it to why we do live theater. They're a crucial part of that, and it's fun to see the difference in the energy that the kids bring versus the energy that the mixed ages audiences on the weekends bring.
Well, I enjoyed this performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Gary Lamb.
So what drew you to this work, to Charlotte's Web?
Christian contacted me about possibly directing it, and I read the script, and I loved the story and how deep it was, and some of the darkness in it I really liked, and I wanted to see how I could take this kind of dark play but keep it fun and exciting for kids, and I came up with this story theater idea that's based on Paul Sills' work of the 70s, and I thought this is a great way to tell this story.
I keep feeling Charlotte's Web is about death, because there's so many people talking about death.
Well, what I think it's really about is a circle of life. It predates The Lion King, which of course sang it, so it made it easier to remember. But it's really about, the rebirth after the death, and it's kind of sad because it talks a lot about the killing of animals for food. But that some deserve to live, and that's kind of where it's going with this one. I don't know if E.B. White was a vegetarian or not, but you'd think he was off of pigs.
As a director, one of your hardest jobs is actually casting. What do you look for in your casting?
Well, it usually comes down to a feeling, a gut instinct, because there's so many good actors that when they audition, you start to see them in a specific role, but then what makes them better than another person? And usually it's just a gut feeling about the actor or a way they phrased a certain line that just catches your attention.
Well, I enjoyed the performance. I hear that actually a lot of kids are watching this thing. What do you think about that? Do you think not enough kids are watching theater now, more like watching TV or the internet?
I think it's harder to get kids interested in TV, so it's great when schools and their parents bring them to these kind of shows to get them started on it, because I think live theater is so much more interactive than the film industry, and I'd hate to see it disappear.
So would I. That's one of the reasons why I got the show. Okay, I enjoyed the show, Charlotte's Web. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Charlotte's Web will be playing at the Sierra Madre Playhouse from March 10th to April 17th. For more information, go to www.sierramadreplayhouse.org.